as possible for them to say yes to working with you.
We landed a $12,000 a month client.
All right, so yesterday's vlog was about getting a job as a developer at a company.
Yep.
But
what if you don't want to work for somebody, but you don't necessarily want to build a big company with a bunch of employees, but you still want to be self-employed, you still want to be free, maybe you want to work remote, and who knows?
Travel.
So today would be tips on how to be a successful freelancer.
Yes. Josh and I both have experienced freelancing for all sorts of things, development, course creation, social media management, design. I mean,
for small startups and little people,
all the way
up to literally Fortune 500 billion dollar companies. So
let's jump into it, because freelancing is a great way to make money, and also it's a great way to make money if you are trying to start a company. Ooh. Guess what Josh is eating? Grits. Just a tip if you're trying to go off and do your own thing. This is something that Josh said to me many moons ago, but
I don't even know what it is, so I don't remember. I'm curious. I'm just as curious to hear what it is.
So say you're actually working for somebody, and maybe you aren't even doing a programming job full time, but you are trying to kind of like break into the industry. The first thing you need to do is find something that is going to replace your income. So find a job, or find a couple jobs that equates to whatever it is that you're currently making. The reason why that is so important is because you need to still be able to pay your bills.
Yep.
And finding a job or finding a freelance job that pays the same or pays more is because you're going to also have to pay taxes on that money. And when you no longer work for somebody, there's this thing called insurance.
And healthcare.
That's what I mean, yeah. Health insurance, yeah. All the insurances. You have your healthcare, eye, dental. I don't know what it is in other countries, but in the U.S., you have to have healthcare, otherwise you get fined every year. So, find a job that replaces your income, or even is more, because it kind of has to be.
Yep.
So now I just sit here and wait until Josh is done with his work and we can go home, and I can figure out what to do about my computer since it's not letting me work. Just typing. Quick update on my computer though. It is doing the little spinny circle of death, and it's saying that I'm out of space, which is something I've been dealing with for months-ish.
Long time.
So I'm unable to edit my videos, create my thumbnails in Sketch, and basically do anything. So I need to figure that out today, hopefully.
Just have to get a new computer.
Yeah. We interrupt this freelancing tips to eat. I guessed it, avocado, toast, and eggs.
We're addicted right now.
It's so good and it's so filling. So we're gonna eat. All right. So Josh has a thought on when you get the client. So we still haven't quite got to getting the client, but
one thing that I know of, like, is one of the hardest things when it's freelance is actually getting clients, right? And so last thing you want is you get a client and then it's just one job and then you're done. If you can find clients that you can set up like a reoccurring service-based contract where the job continues monthly and there's allocated budget or scheduled work for you every single month, those are the best types of clients to have, because that's the client that keeps on paying month after month after month. And if they're a good client and you enjoy working with them, that's awesome, because we've all heard the horror stories of getting a bad client. So if you get a good one and there's the opportunity to do some recurring based work for compensation, then that's the best way to go.
I like it. That's a great tip. And it's not that hard. Well, it can be not hard to negotiate, but you can set up the pros to doing it. If you're on, like, they can have so many hours for you dedicated every single month that you are their developer. Or designer, whatever. In yesterday's video, Josh and I both mentioned before he goes back to work, we touched on going to meetups to find, other developers to potentially, work with them at their companies or work with recruiters and things like that, which is great. And you can apply that same thing to finding freelance work.
Absolutely.
And it wouldn't necessarily be going to actual developer meetups, but if you go to meetup.com, you can literally search any type of niche industry. In Florida, real estate is huge, so you can go to different real estate meetups or conferences or
entrepreneurship meetups and conferences.
Because all of those people always need websites. People reach out to me all the time in my DMs, so like on social media, you can actually go in and search different hashtags related to any real industry and start engaging with those types of people. And then slowly slide into their DMs,
Slide into those DMs.
And always, keep it super short, simple to the point. Pay them a compliment about their profile or what it is they're doing. And then ask them, if they ever need any help on the website of things, or maybe application development or design or whatever.
Marketing, whatever freelance you're doing.
That they can reach out to you. It's a great way to connect with people.
Absolutely. We have ventured into downtown Orlando. There she comes. The deed is done.
Yep. Got our monies. All right, Scooby.
All right,
Mr. Eggman.
Well, flip an egg. So, kind of on the topic of getting clients, I would say literally, and this kind of goes back to going to meetups, networking online. One of the best and absolute fastest way to get customers is through your network and people you know. You already have trust. This also is kind of the same tip we gave when trying to get a job. I'd say figure out if there's anybody in your network or anybody in your network that knows somebody.
People turn to their families all the time when they need help starting out.
And then also, too, you can always use freelancer sites. Those are a little bit more competition and not as lucrative, but things like Upwork, Freelance, Fiverr used to be Crew.co, things like that.
All right. So I think the last thing that Josh touched on was freelance websites. And those things are super useful for any type of, technical skill that you have, whether it's marketing, programming, design, content writing.
Yep.
I have a list of the top 10, and they will be in the description, that you guys can take a look at and start using. I've actually used a guy off of Fiverr before.
We're using one right now too.
To write content for a blog post, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was $5. If you are freelancing for development or design, there's two things that are really important, and the first one is having a portfolio site.
Yep. And it's not critical to have this to land clients, but certain clients are going to be more picky about wanting to see your history and jobs you've completed. So having one ready for if the client actually asks for it would definitely give you a leg up during those conversations.
And the other thing is, if you are a designer, you should be using Dribbble. Dribbble.com is one of the best ways to get design work and one of the easiest ways to showcase your design skills. And it's a great way to interact with other designers who may possibly be looking for work. I've worked at a design agency as a developer, and a lot of the designers got poached by amazing companies like Facebook, Asana, Slack, because of their portfolios on Dribbble.
Yeah.
It's an amazing platform, and for programmers, there is something kind of similar. It's called CodePen. CodePen is a great place to go on and create like simple things if you're trying to see how something works and you don't want to set up an environment yourself. You can easily just pick the languages, pick the frameworks, pick the libraries that you want, and create something. And I know a lot of front-end developers especially will use that as their portfolio because it's super simple to use and it really does showcase your skills.
Yep.
All right, so our final tip for you guys, freelancers.
Is if you don't have a network, you not necessarily don't have a portfolio, or if you even do, pull up something like Crunchbase, AngelList, or any other place that lists companies that you're targeting for freelance work, and straight up cold email them. Figure out who the founders are. Send them messages on Twitter, Instagram, doesn't matter. This is the cold outbound stuff. It still works. It's still relevant.
100%.
And it's very useful for getting new work.
And when you do that, make sure you have your stuff together. So make sure you listen to our previous steps when it talks about having a portfolio and having actual work that you can show them, because you want to make it as simple as possible for them to say yes to working with you.
Yes, and we actually landed, another tip is that we landed a $12,000 a month client through going to job boards like Indeed and Monster, and we work remotely and looking for companies that were posting job roles that we could freelance for and fill with our agency, and applying to them and reaching out to them because they already say they need the position and work filled. So that's a good indicator. That's another really good place to do outbound.
The necessary legwork before you reach out to them.
Yep, outbound and inbound. You got to do them both.
Yep. So if you guys found these tips helpful, or if you didn't know any of them, make sure to give us a thumbs up on this video and be sure to share it with anybody else that's trying to learn how to freelance or how to, kind of get more work and get more clients. And then, of course, please subscribe to our video or our channel. Bye, guys.